Holy crap, it's been a long time since I've done a podcast by myself here. Well, we got the good old Brody helping run all the cameras today. Today we have an excellent guest here. Her name is Angela. She owns Angela's Olives, and such a good olive she does make. She's actually got a few brands here. Angela, how you doing today?
Great. Yeah, I'm very happy to be your first guest. You're
Excellent.
back.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's so cool. I was like,
Yeah.
everything worked out very well in that
Yeah.
regard. So, uh, so we got a few brands of olives here. So what is this the key ones that you make right here?
Yeah, I mean, there's some of my most popular. I mean, we have the Cadillac. I think that's your favorite.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the one with the roasted almonds
Right.
and then marinated in feta cheese, dill, and garlic.
Okay. Oh.
I
Yeah.
use a nice local feta that is from Crystal Springs Cheese, and they're based
Mm.
outside of Lethbridge. So I've been using their feta cheese now
Wow.
pretty much since I started here in Calgary, and
Oh
yeah,
man.
it's like the Cadillac of stuffed olives right there. So
This one tricked me when I first ate it because I thought there was a pit in there,
I
and
know,
I was like, oh, I don't want to bite the pit, but it's actually,
yeah.
yeah, it's the almond, and it's a very
I know,
good,
I
yeah,
remember that, and you know what? Lots of people do that, and
yeah.
I'm like, no, that's that's an almond,
Oh yeah, oh I
you
bet it's
can
a
eat that, yeah.
pleasant surprise for most
Yeah.
people when they find that out.
And I mean, you want to eat that
Yeah.
because it
Oh,
really makes the olive, right? The
yeah.
crunch from the nut and the
Oh man,
creaminess of the cheese. So,
I'm getting this right
yeah,
now. Oh
we
man,
use some really nice mammoth.
so good.
They're
Mm.
called supersized mammoth olives and they're grown in Greece.
Grief.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
those are Greek olives.
Hmm.
I am basically the only person or the only company that uses those olives here in Calgary. So that's the thing. You won't find those olives anywhere else.
They are so good.
Yeah.
I've had I mean, I think the reason why a lot of people don't like olives is because they're not getting the right ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I think there's those. I think everyone's tried them. They're like this big jar of olives in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just not good. You know,
I
some
I
people like
know.
them, but like, yeah, if you like those ones, you're definitely gonna like these ones because this is
Yeah.
top notch.
Well, part of the thing it's really the olives that we get here in the grocery stores. They're in a very heavy brine.
Mm,
And that's basically a preservative. Like
right.
they have to treat them in a brine because olives, most olives, especially the green unripened olives, are super bitter.
Mm-hmm.
So they're so bitter. I
Mm,
mean, they're inedible. So they have to brine them,
really.
and that pulls out the bitterness from the olives. But what it also does is preserves them. So then
Mm,
they'll package them in jars,
right.
ship them, and then that's what we're eating. We're like you're basically
Mm,
tasting a lot of the brine instead of the olive.
gotcha.
So I get the olives in big pails, and they're in a brine. And then what we do is we drain the brine from the olives, and then we soak them in
Mm,
water for a few days, and that pulls out the brine, also a lot of the salt. So
okay. Mm,
our olives are also have
mm,
less sodium than the
mm.
grocery store olives. So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So have you ever tried like an olive right off the tree?
I have, because here in Calgary, like some of the Italian stores, they'll get fresh olives from
Hmm.
California.
Oh yeah.
And so I tried them
What's it?
during that time, and yeah, they were like inedible. I mean, you're just like,
Really?
you just horrible. It's
Mm.
basically horrible. But like a lot of
Crazy.
Italians, or Mediterranean people here in Calgary, they like to get them fresh because they want to do their own brines for them, and
Got ya.
they've had recipes passed down
Hmm.
from generations, and so that they want to do that, right? They want the fresh olives for that. So
Well, I mean, that's cool though. I like how you're like working with locals,
yeah.
keeping it as local as you can. I mean, obviously, I don't think that olives will ever grow here in Calgary, but
No. Well,
yeah.
not for a while, but I mean, I do sometimes get olives too from California, so
Mm-hmm.
that's about as local as
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bit of a shortage of olives right now, so
Oh, really?
there's not a lot of olives coming from California right now, partly because of the pandemic,
Right.
and then also droughts and fires.
Droughts and fires.
Yeah, that were happening there, right? So
Everything hits us at once.
yeah, I know.
What effect did COVID have on your business, would you say?
Well, I was doing a lot of summer markets and Christmas markets, so I'd go out to Millerville and Bears Paw farmers markets, and then do Millerville Christmas markets. I was doing the Spruce Meadows, and when they were only allowed, with those markets, you really are counting on the traffic of people. So because you really need to sell a lot of product when you go out to these markets, because it costs a lot of money. Like, it's a lot of work and it costs a lot of money to go out to these markets. So, of course, during the pandemic, you couldn't have a lot of people in one place. So they were limiting traffic coming into these markets.
Kind of a business killer in a way.
Yeah. So for me, I just basically took a break from doing that. And then I had to kind of work on, okay, well, I'm losing that business, so now I need to find new business. So I tried to build my distributing and wholesale side of my business, which I did. So
Well, good job on that.
Yeah.
That takes some serious entrepreneurship in that.
Yeah.
I thought that the food industry was like the hardest hit out of anybody in COVID.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for us it was at first it was like the initial shock, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what do we do?" But then it returned and came back like bigger and faster. So so how do you think you're positioned now versus before?
Well, I mean, I was actually doing pretty good during the pandemic because people were sitting at home, and then what were people doing? I mean, everybody put on the COVID 10 or 20,
God,
and because
20
they were
for me.
sitting around eting food, right? So that was pretty good, and wow, I mean, it was good for me, right? So, and then I found, lately, when everything opened again, things slowed down a little bit because people were now going out to restaurants and whatever, right? So, and now and then it, and then I've been hit a bit because of inflation, right? So, the olives have gone up 30% in the last year, and just recently, like, they went up 10%. All my other ingredients went up. The packaging went up, the labeling went up, and now, just recently the olives went up another 20%. So yeah.
These prices you're bringing by me are like the same with roofing supplies.
Yeah.
Basically the exact same thing, and the thing is too, like you gotta raise the price of your labor too, because now you gotta drive around and cost all that gas money too.
Exactly.
So it's like, a lot of my staff had come to me and said, "Hey, this inflation's killing us. We have to raise our prices." And it's like, I mean, I was trying to keep as low as I could. But you got to pass it on to the consumer eventually.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you know what? What are these selling for right now, would you say, on average?
Well, most places are probably being sold for about $10-11. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
I would pay for that. That's really good.
Yeah.
What is this? So this is Dragon's Breath right here. So what's this little guy right here?
That's a banana pepper.
Banana pepper. Yeah. Okay, that's really good. And where do you source these from locally, or?
Those are, I believe, grown in California. So yeah.
Oh, super good.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Yeah, no, those are stuffed with feta cheese and marinated with chili pepper, banana pepper, and garlic. So, along with a nice seasoning blend that we use. So,
I can't help but get up and walk over there and try.
Come on over, bro.
Also, we have a pleasant announcement. We have a mystery word winner. Mystery word was olives, and Brandon Chase got it. So congratulations.
Good job, Brandon Chase.
Yeah, he's the
Brandon.
winner.
Well, okay. Well, good job, Brandon.
Yeah,
awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank
you for bringing these, by the way. They are delicious.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Well, you have to bring olives, right? To
I was
podcast about
And Carly might have to come down and try one too.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll save some for her.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, I'm going to be leaving them here for you. I eat
thank
enough
you.
olives myself, so yeah.
So did you kind of have a passion for olives before you got in?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Passionate.
I actually did not like olives
Okay.
before I got into the olive business. So But all I ever had were the Safeway jarred type olives that were, and I didn't like them, right? So,
Right.
but really in Alberta here, it's only been in the last, I guess I would say about 15, 20 years that we've had access to better quality olives. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it wasn't until really I got into the olive business that I started liking them.
Right. Okay. And so what exactly specifically pushed you in then? If not for like for that, like what were you like? What point of you was like you're like, hey, I want to make olives.
Well, I had been working in the food business since I was 14. I started like bussing tables, and I'm a big foodie, and I wanted my own business. And at one point, I actually tried to do like a candied nut type business, but I didn't know what I was doing, and it didn't work out. So then, fast forward, I actually discovered at one point, like I was suffering from a brain tumor, and I had to have surgery for that, and then I was recuperating, and a family friend came over, and like before then I was kind of like working in the restaurant business still, which is a very like physical job type thing. So I'm kind of recuperating. A family friend came over, and I asked her, well, what are you up to? And she said, well, I'm stuffing olives for this company. And this was also in Edmonton, because that's where I'm from. I'm from Edmonton. So I was like, well, do they need any help? Because that sounds like something that I can do when I'm recuperating here.
Right.
And they did. And so that's where I started off in this company, was stuffing olives, and kind of went from there to the managing, helping run the business, and then me moving here and starting it here in Calgary.
Smart idea.
Yeah.
And how many years you been doing it now?
Here, it's going to be 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Got a solid network in there now. I know this is a little personal. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But so with the brain tumor,
Yeah.
how would you say the recovery process was for something like that?
Well, to tell you the truth, it wasn't that bad, really. Like, I think it was like really just a couple weeks. Yeah. I mean, like at first, because it was a pretty, like the way they can do surgeries now, like they went in with a very, like a very slim instrument into my head, and they kind of, and then, I don't know if they vacuumed it out or whatever.
Decompression, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it,
like they actually, afterwards I went and he videoed it, right? Like the kind of tumor I had, you normally find in adolescence. So it was a pediatric neurosurgeon, and he said that, he had never found this kind of tumor in somebody my age. Like it was a pretty large tumor too, so, but yeah, I mean, other than that, after that, you just kind of like, you got the wound happening in your head, and
wow,
a couple weeks really. I mean, I think, I don't know, it like that was about 16 years ago, so a little bit. My memory is faded a bit with the.
So you did find some long-term effects from it a little bit.
Well, I don't know. I don't think so, honestly.
Well, that's good. That's a good place to be.
Yeah. I mean, I seem to be fine, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, you seem
I don't
great.
know. You tell me, right?
No, my grandpa, he died from a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, not everyone's so lucky.
No, I know. I was very lucky. Mine was benign, but it took a while to figure out what I had, because I was feeling the effects of it about a year before, like it started, where I was always very lethargic, and I would get tired very easily, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. I'd need a lot of naps during the day. So, and then
I better get checked.
Well, I would, but like people.
I'm saying I better get checked.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, okay. If that's happening, yeah.
I love my naps.
That's probably the side effect of running a roofing company.
Well, no, but this was more like, like I'd sleep for 8 hours, and then I'd be up for a couple hours, and then I'd be exhausted, and it's like, well, why am I exhausted, right? And then it just progressively became worse and worse to the point. And then I was getting these really bad headaches, and I'd go to the doctor, and it was, well, you're getting migraines, right? And, well, okay, right. And then it got to the point where I could barely get out of bed, and I'd be dizzy and off balance, and then it was like, my family was like, Angela, go back to the doc. Oh, and I even went to the hospital, and they were like, no, like, you got a headache, right? They were kind of annoyed with me even that I went to,
that is such an upsetting thing, because it happens to so many people.
Yeah.
I've seen there.
Right.
Actually, it happens. I mean, I think everyone's got a story about that, where somebody goes there and it's like, hey, I'm coming here for help. I mean, and then it turns out to be something serious, but like, I guess maybe they got a lot of hypochondriacs in there, maybe, or something.
Well, maybe. And, like on the outside, I looked fine, I guess. Right. So then it is kind of like, hey, lady, you got a headache, you got a migraine. Right. So, and then I went to a walk-in medi clinic, and I was like, this is what's happening. And the doctor shined a light in my eyes, and my pupils weren't responding. Oh. And that's a major, Okay. So he was like, go to the hospital immediately. And then, of course, here I am going, because he didn't really let me know at the time but it was like, go to the hospital. Right. Okay. So my sister took me to the hospital, and we're sitting there for a couple hours. Like, right. Like this was back, there's long waits at the time just to get in. And then basically I started going into a coma. Like by the time, like I got there right in time. I started going into a coma because what was happening was the tumor was blocking my brain fluids. Like, this is getting a bit morbid here, but
I'm interested. No, I'm sure.
It's blocking the brain fluids from going down into my spinal, like just flowing, right? Like your bodily fluids are always flowing in your body. So it's like my head was like kind of starting to almost explode from the inside out. Okay, so
it sounds like you were kind of going there when it was getting pretty darn serious.
Yeah, at that point it was, but like I said, it wasn't like it was a benign tumor, but it was blocking, like it was large, and it was stopping me from functioning properly. And they actually had to drill a hole into my head to relieve the pressure that this tumor was causing in my brain.
And then you had to come back later?
Oh, no, then I was in the hospital, and then you had to wait a couple days to get into the surgery. So I actually had to lay with this tube in my head, and I had to keep it level with the machine, this machine that was attached to it. So I had to like kind of just lay like this. And anytime I were to move, like I had to have a nurse with me all the time so that she could move the machine if I moved, right? So yeah.
Wow.
It's not very.
That
it's not a lot of fun
hell.
at that
I bet
point.
that sticks out. Yeah, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's
it's quite awful.
Quite a story.
It was not fun, but
Yeah. Well, it's good to know the symptoms, though. Kind of raise a little bit of awareness about it, because you never know. Like don't. I mean, when it comes to your health, I would say don't take it lightly, like, I mean,
no.
I say, don't be a hypochondriac, but at the same time, it's like, like, don't gaslight yourself, like, because a lot of people, I think, that do that. I mean, I think with guys are really bad with that, like prostate cancer.
Right.
Yeah, they just.
Yeah, it's good to get checked. I mean, before then too, I didn't like, I'm still not. I still don't like going to the doctor. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Unless you are a hypochondriac. Yeah, I mean. Which I hopefully we're not offending any of them. But, nobody really wants to go to the doctor too much, I don't think, right? So, yeah.
My cousin, she got pointed out as a hypochondriac.
Right.
And the doctor had said that she needs to go to a mental institution.
Wow.
She said
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but sometimes they find out. It's like,
well, yeah. I mean, I mean, I would hate to have to dwell on every little thing, right? That, because boy, oh boy, you'd be, I mean, I could see, it'd be, you could go that direction, right? With being hyper focused on what's wrong.
Yeah,
right?
It can be a disorder.
Yeah,
in itself there. Yeah, but well,
now that we're changing gears, Mike,
okay.
We actually had a question roll in.
Oh wow!
From a viewer,
sure.
Caitlin Bullock. She is curious as to what is your favorite recipe
using
olives. Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, they're all my babies. I love them all. But my all-time favorite is the Olive Diva. So I don't actually have it here because it's more of I would say it's kind of a bit of a girly olive. I mean, because it has like fruit and nuts in it. So but I like it because it has all the kind of flavor sensations: sweet, salty, crunchy. You got roasted almonds in there, cashews, figs, cranberries. Yeah.
Why have I not
So
tried this one? It sounds like
yeah,
a neat
I mean,
kind
I
of
love
olive.
it. Now, I find more women buy that one than men, but there is,
I would love
I've
to
had a
try it.
couple male fans of it. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Caitlin might be wanting to go buy some of these.
Yeah.
Where would she go if she wanted to pick some up?
Well, the number one, where she's definitely going to find the Diva, and where I have the largest variety of olives, as at Fresh and Local Market, because I have my own cooler there. It's in their mercantile. They have a big mercantile there where they sell all different kinds of local products from local vendors like me. So I have my own cooler there, and I'm able to stock that cooler up every week with whatever I want to stock it up with, olive related. So she would definitely find the Diva olives there. And then I sell to all of the Springbank cheese shops around Calgary. I sell to all of the community natural food stores in Calgary. I sell.
That's where I got mine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I sell to Sofrito Oil and Vinegar Bar, and they have many locations. They have a location in the Calgary Farmers Market, the Granary Farmers Market. They have a location in Canyon Meadows.
Perfect.
I sell to, I'm going to have to look at my list because I don't want to forget anybody. I sell to Say Cheese Shop in Crossroads Market. I sell to Amaranth food stores, and that's like a specialty food stores, and they sell supplements and but they sell really nice local products there. I sell to I just got into a place in Lethbridge. It's called Wild Bros, and they have like a meat and charcuterie place there. So I'm very excited about that.
I'm sure that sounds like it fits it right in there.
Yeah, definitely. And they seem to make a lot of nice, really beautiful charcuterie boards there. So Emerson Mercantile, which is in High River. So happy to be in there. That is a mercantile owned by Brant Lake Wagyu beef. They're a beef producer here in Alberta, and they make very high end, like the Wagyu beef. They don't make it, they grow it, I guess, or
I see.
they're cows, right? So and then new store, Magic Pantry. It's in Bowness. They're also kind of a mercantile, like they sell many different local products. And then Pure Earth Organics in Red Deer. So I'm also in Red Deer.
Sweet.
So that's great. And Luke's European Meats. So they're in that newer Red Deer Farmers Market on Gasoline Alley. So yeah.
Wow. And that's a lot of people to supply.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely, so they keep me busy. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Well, yeah, no, I usually I usually go to the natural community foods in Crowfoot here. That's usually where I go to pick them up, and
that's a great store.
I've bought them out a couple times.
Yeah,
I stock up.
wonderful.
I'll just buy a whole
Thank
bunch and
you.
just stuff myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I mean, I know you and it's great, but it's for pretty selfish reasons.
Well,
They're really good.
Well, yeah. Hey, I'm happy that you love them. Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Now this is a Tapenade here. I never tried this. So what do you do with this exactly? What would I use
Well,
this
I mean,
for?
it's an easy thing to have, like around to snack on with crackers, or like
Okay.
you can make some really good sandwiches with that. I
Really?
mean,
kind of like a spread. All right.
yeah, like you put it on bread and then put your like deli meats or cheeses, and like makes a great Italian sandwich, right? So
Sweet.
and then it's also great like if you're going to grill some chicken on the barbecue, just spoon some tapenade once it's finished, right?
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Or fish goes great on fish. You know, like the French have been eating tapenade on steamed fish, you know, for a long time, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried it.
Yeah, and pizza goes great on pizza, you know.
Sweet.
You can put it on before you bake it or afterwards.
Okay.
And then, like, even just, like, some of my customers, they've told me, you know, they put them on their scrambled eggs in the morning. So, yeah.
Yummy. Yeah.
It's a pretty versatile
Man,
ingredient,
I try that on
really.
eggs.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at a way to up my egg game.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Listen to Chef Ramsay or Gordon Ramsay there.
Yeah.
And I find out whenever I watch him, I always find out I'm doing everything wrong.
Right.
It's like, how do you fry an egg? And
Yeah.
like, well, how does he do it? Well,
Right.
He actually showed me. I mean, I think he showed me how to. I mean, you know, through a video, how to scramble eggs.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Have you
That's how
seen
do
the
it?
slow scramble where they put it, like, they do it under a very low heat and then it like takes like 20 minutes or something to scramble the eggs?
No, never seen that.
Oh,
Did
okay.
you try it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah?
It makes the eggs, like, they're very, you know, when you do like a quick scramble, they tend to be like, you get these large curds and they can be dry,
Yeah.
right? Well, it makes it like they stay very moist, right?
Okay.
And I love it actually. When
So
I
that's
have
your-
time,
no,
that's the way I like scrambled
You go
eggs.
to.
Yeah.
One thing I had learned from Ramsay recently as well came down to seasoning eggs specifically and how seasoning should be applied afterwards,
Oh.
not during,
Right.
Really?
after.
Okay.
I guess frying the seasoning can help to nullify its effect
Oh.
to an extent. But he had mentioned to season things after, salt and pepper, things like that, after the eggs are done, like
Interesting.
right before you serve the dish. So
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Yeah.
I tried it and
Yeah.
I was able to tell the difference. It popped, like the spices
Really?
popped a lot more.
Oh,
So.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm gonna try that next time then. Yeah.
Honestly, that guy, he's taught me a fair bit. Actually, I went to a fine dining restaurant and found out I was making fish better than them.
Right.
And they didn't make their fish properly. I was like, might as well just make it myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird after you like. That's the beauty of the internet. It teaches you so much stuff.
Definitely, you know. And then, you know, I mean, you get to know your personal preferences with seasonings and stuff. So, and, you know, I mean, you know, you're very much paying attention to what you're cooking for yourself. Whereas in a restaurant, sometimes, you know, like they're cooking like 30 pieces of fish at a time or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you get left behind. No, that's so true.
Yeah.
What's you got a favorite restaurant around here in Calgary?
Well, I just went to I have a couple of them, but I went to one just recently. It's a new Italian restaurant downtown called Santini. It's on Stephen Avenue. Yeah, so I really like that. Yeah, like they had all different kinds of pastas and fish and good appetizers, you know, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Might have to try that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, yeah, if you like Italian, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of food I don't like, I
Right.
found. Like, what is some food I don't like? I don't know. I can't even think of anything. Brody, is there food other you don't like?
Food that I can't stand, I guess I wouldn't say any dishes themselves, but when it comes to, say, individual elements, like I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I could eat a chunky tomato sauce pasta, no problem.
Right.
Or a
That's how it
tomato
is.
on a burger.
But like raw
no problem, but
tomatoes,
like a
maybe?
raw slice of tomato.
Yeah.
I mean, I could honestly, I could really eat anything without
Right.
vomiting. It's not a preference.
Yeah.
I'd eat it, but yeah, I don't care much for tomatoes. Olives, kind of same thing.
Right.
Not huge into olives.
Yeah.
And I think last time you were on,
Yeah.
I tried one and I was like, holy
Right.
shit, like,
I know, it's
wow,
so good. I was same as you.
incredible, you know. And so
Yeah.
Well,
change-
they're also an acquired taste, like coffee.
That's what they say.
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the first, usually most people don't like coffee when they first taste it, or beer,
beer,
even,
exactly.
right?
Beer's
Yeah.
an excellent example of that.
So, you know, but then once you go back and try it, and then you're like, and then you're kind of, oh, these aren't bad, right? And I also like, there's different degrees of olives, and like there's very mild olives and then there's very strong flavored olives. So like if I'm getting somebody to kind of get started with eating olives, I would give them a very mild olives to start off with. Yeah.
So what would you say your olives are? Like a mild or
Well,
strong,
that's a more like mild olive, I
okay.
would say. Like, I mean, like those, and then a picoline olive from France. It's a light green olive. It's very mild. It's a nutty flavored olive. And then like if you're going to have then like a Kalamata olive, like those are more of a stronger flavored olive, or like a sun-dried Moroccan olive. They're very strong, like those olives, because they're sun-dried, right? So it really intensifies the flavor. So I mean, and then of course, like I said, like those olives in Safeway, the jarred, they're very strong. The brine is very strong with those olives,
Okay.
right? So it's not a good, like, especially with kids, right? Because most kids, they want more kind of bland flavors, right? But they say, I think I heard that every 7 years or so, our taste buds change a bit and
that can,
mature, I think, right?
that
Like,
makes sense.
I'm sure my
actually.
mom could attest to that, because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, there was a whole long list of things that I
Right.
couldn't stand.
Yeah, me
As
too,
I got
yeah.
older, things
Hmm.
changed or developed or evolved. I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I was very picky when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, so
Not me.
yeah.
No, I got traumatized with cabbage rolls one time.
Oh, you did.
And my mom just didn't make it right, because I tried
Right.
cabbage rolls again later, and it was super good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Like I said, I mean, I think that for me, like, Indian food is overhyped. I think.
Right.
I mean, some people love Indian food. Nothing against them. It's everyone's each their own. But yeah, that's something I try to get into is Indian
Yeah.
food, and I was like, I don't get it. Yeah.
See, I like Indian food, but I mean, it is like very like they use a lot of spices, and I grew up in a Irish German homes, right? So, they're more mild flavored foods, right? Like, I mean, schnitzels and whatever. Like, my mom kind of would experiment with, like, she'd make spaghetti or meatloaf, or, she made the typical North American foods. But, so then when you go and eat like something very heavily spiced, you're not used to it, right? So, like for me, I do like Indian food, but I can only handle it like, every once now and again, like not every day, because it's.
I didn't find it that spicy. I
Yeah.
think I've got a bad.
Well, when I say spicy, I don't
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
heat. I mean, like, they use like cumin, like, a
Okay,
lot of
yeah.
spices, right? But
Yeah.
I think different areas in India are more heavily spiced, like
Right.
heat wise, right? So
Well, I think maybe I need to give it more of a chance. Maybe I've just had bad
Yeah.
Indian food or something. I've tried it a
Maybe,
few
yeah.
times. Like, I mean, I think maybe I was just getting like some like previously frozen samosas or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
no, that you don't want that.
Yeah, I think
Don't do that.
I
then,
need
yeah.
a nice fresh samosa. I think,
Yeah.
to make up my mind.
I
But
think there's a
yeah.
samosa place on northwest actually, like maybe even Boness area, where they just specialize in making fresh samosas. I can't remember the name of it, but and people just love it. Like yeah.
Right. Well, I'll have to check into that one
Yeah.
too. So, outside of olives, what else do you like to do?
Well, we're into golf season here,
Oh,
so
right.
yeah, me and you went. We went to the driving range once, and we played a game. Yeah, so I've come a ways since then, right?
Well, I think you
So-
beat me pretty good. When I recall.
Well, I
You're
don't know
better.
about
You're, I mean, we weren't really competing, but I
no,
think you're
yeah.
definitely better than I was.
Well, you
Yeah.
have to do it all. You have to golf
Yeah.
often
Right.
to
Yeah.
really get anywhere with it, right? I mean, it's a very difficult sport, and you have to really practice, right? So, so I do that, and I've taken lessons and stuff, and it's just I just love doing it because it's something that you can do. It takes a couple hours of your time. You're outside in the nice weather, and usually like golf courses are pretty nice, right? Some of them, so yeah.
Right.
So getting into that, yeah.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I like the golfing experience for just getting outside. Basically, I like
Yeah.
being in the trees and stuff. Like Calgary has some pretty nice golf courses.
They do,
and a
yeah.
lot of them.
Like one of my favorites is Shaganappy,
Mm.
and it's like just off of what is that? Just on like 26th Street Southwest. I think Bow Trail. I think that's what it is, and yeah, it's just really right in the middle of the city, right? But you kind of feel like, you know, like it's just in nature in the middle of the city, right? And you're doing something that's active. And but the nice thing about golf is you don't even have to be in the best shape to do golf, right? So that's
Right.
also nice. You don't have to be the strongest person, the largest person.
Well, yeah,
you know,
'cause
like
you hit that ball as hard as you can. That's not what it's all about. A lot of it's
Yeah.
skill. Yeah, a lot of it's just and the clubs and the ball
Yeah.
you use and all that. Could you see yourself living on a golf course?
well, I would prefer to live on water than the golf course. Like I would love to do lake living,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, yeah.
Right.
I
That'd be
love
pretty sweet.
I love the lake. I love the water. And funny enough, I'm kind of scared of the water. Like I'm not the best swimmer, so I'm not in the water very often, but I love being by water. So, but hey, yeah, I mean I'd live on a golf course too, sure. Why not?
Well, the ocean scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I'll say that
yeah,
much.
me too.
Yeah, but it's also nice, I
Yeah,
hear you saying,
it's a beautiful. Like I totally
Mm.
respect the ocean, but yes, I'm terrified of the ocean. Yeah,
Scary. Yeah,
and I get really
yeah.
seasick too,
Oh,
so I
really?
can't even handle. Like I went on a ferry once to go
Really?
from Vancouver to the island, and I was sick the
No
whole
way.
time. Yeah, so even large boats
Just
like
crawling
that.
back, basically.
Yeah, it was awful.
Any advice for somebody who's seasick? What would they do to?
Oh gosh, I can't give any advice. Like
No,
I just suffer
it's just
through
bad.
it. Yeah.
Just
I mean, even like going fishing, like I can handle speed boats. So when we're like going, but I went fishing to this northern lake north of Edmonton, and we're going along on the speedboat, and like it was 10 minutes to get out to the middle of the lake, and then we stop. And then the boat starts doing this, like, and
no.
that's where I knew right away. I'm like, hey guys, you're gonna have to take me back. And they're like, what? No, no way, right? I'm like, well, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna throw up here, like, so yeah, they had to
I'd take
take
you
me back immediately, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't. They say to look at land or something, look at something still. I don't know, but that doesn't help me. I'm just too afflicted by the seasickness to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I suffer from seasickness. I've been out there quite a bit.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like if I'm on a bus or something like that, I kind of
Yeah.
feel like a little bit like car sick. But
Yeah.
like, besides that, I've been on planes, trains.
Yeah. Well,
You
you're
name it,
lucky.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
I get a bit of motion sick. Like I usually will take gravel to fly with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So that does help, you think?
Yes, it does. I have never tried that, on a boat, but at this point, I just kind of avoid it. Because I find it's way worse on a boat. Like on a plane, it's just sometimes, like, I usually take the gravel because, when you like fall, when you have that, or turbulence, right? It's a bit of rockiness, right? That more feels like I'm on a roller coaster or something, though, right? Like rather than the rocking back and forth of a boat, which is
Definitely depends which airline you're flying.
right.
I was on, I think it was Aero Mexico, and that was like one of the scariest rides.
Really?
Of my life. Like they never crashed there, but the plane dropped and
Yeah.
everyone screamed.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
bet.
and we were right before we landed too. And
Oh my gosh.
But I found like when on Air Canada,
Yeah.
nice smooth ride most of the time. But yeah, I mean the Mexico Airlines, like they hit that runway real hard.
Right.
They stop real quick.
Yeah.
They're rocky. They don't care. Whatever.
Well, they're just they they say in Mexico it's on Mexican time, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
do things a different
always
way.
late.
Yeah.
No, for sure. No, but hey, it's all good.
But I think it
Yeah.
also depends on what the air's like up there, storms or
Totally,
whatever, right? Like my worst flight, I think, was I was flying to visit my mom on Vancouver Island, and I was on the last flight before they canceled all other flights because it was so stormy there. Like they canceled the boats, the ferries, and so.
Wow.
That was scary. Like that was awful. Like it was very bumpy landing there. So yeah.
Yeah, conditions have a thing. The one thing I remind myself is that planes barely ever crash. So I'm always thinking, what are the odds of this one going down?
I know, but I'm terrified of heights too, right? So to be up that high is just. I mean, I can't even believe I can fly. I have to really put myself in a Zen state and.
Deny reality maybe a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. Like I have to like really focus on everything else but being on. I like to sit at the window seat, but I'd prefer to have the window covered, right? Although usually people that I'm sitting beside aren't happy if I do that, but
I'm not exactly the best person to sit beside either on the plane.
Right.
But, well, Angela, very cool stuff that we talk about here. Really enjoyed having you on.
Thank you.
And hopefully we have you on again,
Yeah. Sure.
I've been working away on these olives. I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm going to try to share this time because Carly got pretty upset last time. Where you sponsored one of our podcasts, and then I had some we shared around or whatever, and I ate them all. I was supposed to save one for her. So she reminded me of that before this one. So
we'll get her some olives today. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I space out, and I this is so good. You want it?
Yeah.
You want one? You sure? Okay. No, you don't. Okay. But anyways, great having you on.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Yeah, and congratulations. Oh, sorry.
It was fun. Yeah.
I had fun too, and congratulations, Brandon, for winning the mystery word contest there. So make sure you come by on Monday. 3:00. We'll see if you can get a shot at $500. Another thing we got here, guys, is all you gotta do is comment in the comment sections. Got these cool little No Payne pillows. Speaking of going on the plane or whatever, these might be pretty good.
Yeah,
for your travel
definitely.
pillow. Yeah, I'll give you one for sure.
Sure.
Mike, we had a guest ask if you could explain how the mystery word works before we close the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Might be a new viewer.
Sure. Yeah, the rules are off the top of my head. You got to be local, so you got to be from Calgary. What else? You can only guess 3 times. You can only win once every 30 days. And I think that about sums it up.
Right. For the viewer who had asked, if you scroll to the top of the comments, you'll see the rules for the podcast.
Yeah.
You have to be the first one to guess across all platforms.
That's right. Yeah.
Be from the Calgary area, like Mike said. I think that basically summarizes
one thing we might have a problem with sometimes, I'm sure this is going to be an issue in the past, we'll tell somebody they win, and then they might have guessed on Twitter or like Instagram or something. And so we have to check the times of everything. So, but we only really watch the Facebook comments at this point in time. So, and YouTube, I believe. So, hopefully that answers you guys' questions. We're usually offering free stuff. So even if you're the commenters, ask us what we got going on. We're always happy to, send you a dog leash or a pillow like this, or we got some other stuff coming in. But okay, well, great being back on here again, and great having you on here, Angela. And if you guys can check out her Facebook page, Angela's Olives, and we'll see you guys all next Thursday, 3 p.m. Bye for now. Let's turn that guy off too.